come on up here. She gets her walker. She gets up there. I said, well, Miss Andre, which 3 hymns would you like? She goes, him, him, and him. But no, I just got in comedy to get some women, you know. Comedians get women. It's like, you know, rappers, rock stars, The Rock, Denzel Washington, garbage collectors, store bag boys, comedians. I'm just glad to be in that mix somewhere. But no, I'll talk a little bit about, I went over to my cousin's the other day, and he was yelling at his boy. And I said, why are you yelling at this boy? He said he had sex with his teacher. I said, hey, we're men. You know, we went to sex with some of them teachers. What's wrong with him? He's a grown boy. Well, to get off that subject, I finally got to have sex with my high school sweetheart. Yeah, my high school sweetheart. We had it 3 or 4 times in the car, 4 or 5 times in the woods, a couple times in the bathroom at the movie theater, and then she just cut me off. I said, what's wrong? I said, you're my high school sweetheart. She goes, I know, but I'm getting my license soon, the prom's coming up, I'm going to graduate, and I'll be going to college. But back to my cousin, he was yelling at his son. I said, why are you so mad at the kid? Because he had sex with his teacher. He said he's homeschooled. I am just a little bit prejudiced, but you know, my first wife ran off with a black guy. My friend said it was my fault. I shouldn't have married a black bitch to begin with. But really, I got a lot of black friends. I was out with both of them the other night. Lincoln and Ford. We were playing basketball. Well, they were playing basketball. I was standing there. But we went in the shower, and I said, Lincoln, tell me how come you black guys get like that? He said, it's an old trick. You're never supposed to tell you white guys about it. He said, but you are my buddy, I'm going to tell you. He said, when we're young, our mothers will find a rock, they'll put a string on it, and they'll tie it to your little thing, and you walk around like that for a few days, and it will stretch that thing out, and you'll have a big one. I said, you think it'll work? It's worth a shot. So, 2 or 3 weeks later, we were playing, well, they were playing basketball again. Again, I was just standing there. They said, hey, how's that trick working? I said, I got that rock, I tied the string on it, tied her there. I've been walking around like that for, he said, is it working? I said, I think so. It's turned black. Ford was laughing his ass off. Ford said, you fell for that old trick. He said, I'm going to tell you how it really works. He said, if you got a black mama, every night you go in the kitchen and you get some Lord. You rub Lord on that thing every night, and it feels good, and it will grow. It will get big. I said, well, that sounds better than this other trick. So every night, I did my ritual every night. Ford, about 3 weeks later, he says, how's that working? I said, I don't think it's working. I said, matter of fact, I think it's getting smaller. It ain't growing a bit. He said, what are you doing? I said, every night I go in the kitchen, get that Crisco out, and I start growing. He said, wait, you can't use Crisco, that's shortening. But sex was always always a little awkward for me. I remember the first time it was really, really awkward. Second time wasn't quite as bad. I had a girl with me. But I remember saving up because my friend said you got to get a prophylactic. Saved my change. Went to the drugstore, told the man, walked up to the counter, proud as a peacock, knew what I was going to get that night. Said, "Would like to buy a prophylactic?" He says, "Yes." "There you go, sonny. Be $3.18. I said, $3.18? Yeah, 18 cents for the tax. I said, I was just going to roll it on. Tax. So, anyhow, the next day I went in and there was a lady pharmacist. And I was a little shy. And I walked up and said, "I'd like to buy a prophylactic." And she made the older lady kind of smile and says, "What size?" I said, "Size? Don't know." She said, "Well, we got a little trick. You can measure yourself. Go around back, there's a fence. It's got 3 holes in it." So one says small, one says medium, and one says large. So you stick your thing through there and tell me which size it is when you come back around. So I walked out around the back. She ran out back as quick as she could, got on her side of the fence, and I stuck with it. And she's out, the girl on the other side, you know. I said, "Small's pretty good." So I went over to medium, and boy, she jumped over there behind that fence. And I said, "Medium ain't bad either. Can't wait to get this large one." Same thing, stood there 10 minutes. Couldn't take it no more. I run back around to the front of the drugstore. She goes in the back door. She's standing there at the counter grinning. She says, "And what size prophylactic would you like?" I said, "I changed my mind. I want 10 foot of that fence." But I did not like that job. I always wanted to sell things, so I decided to sell rainbow vacuums. Has anybody here had a rainbow vacuum? It's supposed to be the most powerful vacuum in the world. Get to my first customer, knocked on the door. Little old lady comes up and I said, "Ma'am, I'm here selling rainbow vacuums. Got more suction than any vacuum in the world." She can't afford a new vacuum, son. I said, "But this is the best vacuum you could possibly buy. You'll never need another one in your life." She goes, "I'm 79. I don't think I'll ever need another." I said, "No, lady, you need this vacuum." I said, "When you're vacuuming on the second floor, it's sucking the dirt off the first floor. And when you're vacuuming the first floor, you're sucking embers from hell right up into this vacuum cleaner." She said, "I just can't afford a vacuum cleaner." I said, "Don't worry, ma'am, we got a payment plan. You can make payments on this vacuum. In 5 or 6 years, you'll have it paid off." She said, "I can't afford a vacuum cleaner." She started to slam the door, but just like the good vacuum cleaner salesman I was, stuck my foot in that door, grabbed that bag of crap I had, threw it in there on her hall. I said, "Ma'am, that's horse manure, cow manure, pig manure, mud and sand. And if this rainbow vacuum cleaner don't get it off your floor, I'll get in there myself and eat it." She goes, "Okay." She turns and starts. I said, "You get your checkbook or your purse? Because I'm getting you a spoon that cut off my electric yesterday." But I did not like that job too much. I wanted to be a Fuller Brush salesman. I figured Fuller Brush salesmen go door to door and down to get laid sooner or later. Well, I go down there and he says, "Oh, we can sell right now is toothbrushes. And you got to sell a lot of toothbrushes to make any money." I said, "I'll try it." He said, "You got 3 days." I went out with my little case the first day, come back to 52 toothbrushes. He said, "You can't make a living with 52 toothbrushes." Went out with my case the next day, worked till late that night, come in, said, "I sold 200 toothbrushes." He said, "That's pretty good, but you're going to have to do better than that, and you got 1 more day." Next day I got up early, took my case, come back that night, boy, I was dragging it. He said, how'd you do? I said, I sold 13,528 toothbrushes. He said, my God, that's a world record. How'd you do it? I said, got up early and went down to the train station. People getting on the train, people getting off the train. Set up my sign, said free fudge. What the hell's fudge got to do with toothbrush? I said, people get on the train, they get off the train. They see my sign, they come over there, free fudge, they take the bite. They said, this tastes like shit. I said, it is. You want to buy a toothbrush?